welcome to What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, hosted by me, Fiona. This is part 2 of our Worldwide Wrestling one-shot, so make sure you listen to the first part before continuing on with this episode. So this special one-shot of Worldwide Wrestling has been put together for the One-Shot Oberfest happening throughout October. The One-Shot Podcast Network is largely listener-supported. We've got some adverts on all the shows, and whilst these help, the Patreon pays for the bulk of what the network does day to day. What's great about the One-Shot Podcast Network is that we have a bunch of really cool, fun, TTRPG-related shows all in one place. One of my rollings just joined the network, but it already feels like a second home. Everyone seems so on board and passionate about role-playing games, whether it be actual play, interviews with game designers, character creation, or world building. And we need your help to keep the network going. We're looking to increase our Patreon donations to $7,000 a month. And to do that, we've got 16 shows happening over the next 14 days, ranging from TTRPG live streams, Jackbox games, Magic the Gathering, and much, much more. We would love you to come along and support us in any way you can, whether it be taking part in the streams or by donating to the Patreon if you're able to. You can support us on Patreon for as little as $2 a month, and every dollar goes back into the network. We've also got a number of funding goals we're going to attempt to unlock throughout the drive, from feed swaps, collaborations, to fighting game streams, actual playthroughs of Oh Captain My Captain, and the release of unaired episodes of Campaign Star Wars. So lots of stuff for us to look forward to. Support the One Shot Podcast Network on Patreon. That's patreon.com/One Shot Podcast. Before we start our scheduled entertainment, let's talk quickly about the main game mechanics that you'll see come up in this session of Worldwide Wrestling. The players will narrate what their wrestlers do and use moves to accomplish their goals. What this means in practice is whenever a player triggers one of their moves, they will roll 2d6, add a relevant stat if required, and compare the result to the move's success levels and follow what the outcome is. If they roll a 10+, it's a full success. If they roll a 7 to 9, it's a mixed success. And a 6 and below is a botch, it's a complete failure. Our wrestlers have access to basic moves, wrestling moves, their own gimmick moves, and their babyface and heel moves respectively. I, as the creative, have my own list of soft and hard moves, often used in response to a botched result. Another thing you'll see is that our wrestlers will have access to a fluid resource called momentum, and will spend it either to add to rolls or to trigger moves. Momentum represents a wrestler's energy and intangible it factor. A player can spend any amount of momentum they have to add a bonus to any die roll they've just made, and they must always spend momentum after seeing what they have rolled and not before. Heat is another element which you'll hear mentioned a little bit in this game. This represents the reaction of the imaginary viewing audience from seeing two wrestlers interact, ranging from 0, so no heat whatsoever, to a +4 where the crowd goes wild every time these wrestlers face off. All the players' wrestlers start with heat with each other, and when wrestlers have high levels of heat, they will get a bonus to their audience rating, which will help them get ever closer to that sweet, sweet top spot in the promotion. Whenever the wrestlers gain an advance through either completing their wants or scoring highly with the audience, they can spend it at any time to get more moves or increase their stats. There's obviously a lot more to this game than what I've just covered here, but this is enough to get you going. The last game element I'm going to mention here is one of the more unique elements of Worldwide Wrestling, and it's one of my favourites. It's the role of the announcer. When a match starts, the creative gets to pick a wrestler who isn't involved in the fight to do colour commentary, recapping the action, and add their own editorials. Most importantly, the announcer can trigger the move put over for each wrestler in the match to make them look awesome. To do this, they just describe what the wrestler is doing in the most impressive light to the viewing audience, thereby increasing any roll result up by 1 success level. The announcer can only put over each wrestler once during a match. And that's it. Main mechanics covered. So, let's get back to Worldwide Wrestling. Welcome back, my wonderful wrestlers. We're going to go back into it, but just so that we can just go around the virtual table, starting with Jeff, then going to Ben, then to Zad. reintroduce yourselves to our audience, who you are, what podcast you are from the network, and who you are playing today, please. So, Jeff, going to hand it over to you.
Of course. I'm Jeff Aldrich. I am the host of the System Mastery podcast, as well as Movie Mastery and Expounded Universe. We've been with the network for, nearly 8-9 years now. We review old role-playing games and write weird books about role-playing games. On today's episode, I will be playing as Eberhard Thorn, Dr. Eberhard Thorn, otherwise known as Dr. Knockout, a Bavarian wrestler who is a licensed anesthesiologist who is seeking out alternative treatments to needles that will not scare kids.
And how successful is that going for him?
Oh, it's going extraordinarily poorly. He has yet to put together why he thinks it's the needles, and not the fact that he is nearly 7 foot tall and has a thick German accent and wrestles in a medical blue Speedo underneath a lab coat. Looks like he's got like a surgical glove down there.
Oh, God. He's so big. It's just super, super tight. I'm going to pass it over to Ben, please. Can you introduce who you are, which podcast you're from, and your wrestler that you're playing today, please?
Hi, I'm Benjamin Gray. He, him. You can call me Ben. I am from Roleplay Retcon. We remake infamous flop movies using like different TTRPGs. We try to match a TTRPG to a movie, and we also partner with indie bands for each one. And I make that podcast with my friends Jinsey and Alex, and just a whole bunch of guests, new guests all the time.
Awesome.
We actually did something with Zad most recently as of this recording.
We did. It was a good time.
Yeah, we remained in an American Werewolf in Paris, which is the really terrible sequel to An American Werewolf in London. And my wrestler is Books. She, her. She's a heel. And she's called Books because everyone hates books, canonically, factually, in this universe and our fictional universe. Books are the worst. No one likes reading. And if they tell you they like reading, they're lying to you. And so she's really going to get the crowd riled up about that. She can preternaturally know what book that her opponent hated reading in school, what book they were forced to read they hated to read. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she's hoping to get recruited to be a real supervillain, not this
this costume that she's doing. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is just a part-time gig until she gets into the big evil leagues. I like it.
A stepping stone. Yeah, certainly.
And then last but by no means least, Zad. Can you introduce yourself, the podcast you're from, and your wrestler that you're playing today, please?
Absolutely. My name is Zad Kielvaski Huff. I am the creative coordinator from the Game Woven podcast. Game Woven's a show where we play a bunch of indie games that all just one-shots of indie games that all take place in a shared world, building a world one game at a time. And tonight, I am going to be playing Sidriel Constellation using the Anointed playbook. Sid is a pretty white meat babyface that's, based on the stats, much better on the mic than in the ring, but I think that's going to be okay.
Yes, this will be quite an interesting one. We've got some interesting wrestlers here today. We've also got some interesting non-player wrestlers. If you listen back to the first episode, they may make an appearance tonight. But let's get back to worldwide wrestling. So, as we sort of described last time, we had that intro sequence about like what happened last time, but we're going to go straight into the actual show itself. So again, I can imagine that the sort of the TV turns on, the sort of static going across, and then that worldwide wrestling, and then sort of a cheer as we go through the TV screen, through the static, as it tunes into a huge, massive stadium. We have blues, we have dark greens, etc. As the lights start to come on in that sort of like very movie montage, like. The audience is filling in, grabbing their various sort of snacks and drinks. There are various merch stalls, each one having a certain particular merch of the wrestlers in hand. Actually, it's a good question. What merch do you think Worldwide Wrestling has of your particular wrestlers, do we think? Like I can imagine we talked about the 3 or 5 kobolds in a trench coat. Maybe there is just as a trench coat, which is just lots of secret pockets, and you never know, there might be one with a like plushy toy of a kobold in it, perhaps, or a goblin in it, sorry. But yeah, what other merch could there be for your wrestlers in there?
I think Sid has a kind of like main t-shirt is just like plain black with the Polaris constellation on it. Yeah, like that symbol on the front. It's not great branding. Very few people actually know what it is, but it's like, it's this pretty stripped back and lean design. They've also got one that is just kind of like the ivy motif from their trunks that kind of goes up around it with their name big across the center.
Nice.
Not as big a fan of that one, but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I like it.
I don't know if they have a real name. I've always just called them head reflectors, but that thing that old-timey doctors would wear that have largely gone out of fashion that you can purchase for Dr. Knockout. And it is a classic head reflector with the gimmick being that there's a tiny wire on the inside center of it that rotates rapidly with light up LEDs. So when you turn it on, you can see the light up LEDs spell out the shortened form of his wrestling name. It just says Doc Knock, which there's been some legal issues from Marvel here and there, but they've largely been able to get around that via careful spelling. It is also wildly unpopular.
I love the idea that there's just a lot of PPE as well that's just been there also that's been trying to sell off, and then we've also had legal issues with that, so that you've ended up on this sort of LED light thing, which I love that idea.
Yeah, I just love the idea that there's just regular lab doctor equipment for sale. They're just like, it's just like, oh, welcome to the Dr. Knockout section. We've got surgical gloves, we've got tongue depressors. Nothing's even branded. We're just dumping it out of Cisco bins.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about Books though? What's Books got as her merch?
This Books is a heel, and her deal is more like people love to hate her.
Yeah,
possibly hate to love her, but I think that's a much rarer situation. I think a lot of her merchandise is stuff like T-shirts that say like the movie was better, or like maybe just like little things on the end of a stick that are cooler than books, like I don't know, like a video game controller.
I think people would throw the Cliff Notes versions of Books into the ring.
Oh, now that's my God! Like it should just be actual Cliff Notes, like that you can buy.
Yeah.
Like it's not a prop Cliff Notes. It's just the Cliff Notes, and like they're like $30.
Yeah, they tear them up and throw them at you. Like absolutely. I like that. Like almost like confetti. Amazing.
And there's stuff like Wuthering Heights and stuff like that.
Yeah, a load of Shakespeare just thrown everywhere. Yeah, lots of bits of Macbeth everywhere.
Taken so many paper cuts from Willa Cather over the years.
People starting to file in and buy their various merch. Whole stacks of books going out to various members of the crowd as they start to go in and fill. And this auditorium, this stadium is packed around. Every man, woman, child, individual that are just here. They're here to see the 4 top wrestlers and this particular promotion playing it out. As the camera sort of switches around, like catching all these glimpses, as maybe there's a meet and greet with other sort of lesser known celebrities or anything like that, just writing stuff down. We sort of see the camera sort of hit backstage, it's sort of cutting to, and we go to a room. It has Zidriel and Miss Maxine in it. And so I would love to know what Zidriel is doing in this particular moment.
Sid is like, Max has one arm over them and looks a little beat up, has like the big foam neck brace on, arms in a sling, and Sid is getting her set down in her office. They look at her and it's like, you gotta be good for the night. We're looking like, don't push yourself too hard. Hey,
you're a good kid. And she's sort of like, just again, big meaty paw on your sort of small paw. You take care of me, you.
I don't think there's anybody else in this place that has taken care of me in the way that you have. So I'm just paying it back. And pats her on the shoulder, and it goes to pat the one that's injured, and just like switches over to the other shoulder. Then kind of leans back, and I think we see Jimmy Crookneck is kind of like loafing around. Hey, Jimmy, keep an eye on her for me, will you?
You got it, boss. And as you sort of like turn to sort of like, again, this is her office, right? So there's lots of like trophies. I think there's like a lot of pictures of not just you, but any sort of wrestler that she's been with over the years. You are sort of her latest sort of protege in a way. And then you see like, as she sort of goes up through the ranks, with her in her younger years and stuff. What you described her last time, she's just somebody who isn't necessarily, top spot or anything like that, but everyone knows her. Anyone who's anyone in wrestling just talks about Miss Maxine. She sort of like turns to you, like turns all the way around because obviously she can't move her neck, and she's just like, hey, Sid, you go out there and you win this for me. You understand? I don't want to hear anyone say anything bad about my Sid. Understand?
Absolutely. And Sid turns on their heel and like starts walking towards the camera and almost like looks past the camera. It's like, hey, Kat, you're looking good tonight. Joey, what's up? walk with me. Like Sid is just staring straight down the camera while walking towards the ring itself.
In the background, you can hear like the sound of the crowd coming in and sort of get that sort of low sort of rumble of music, the bass line of a various pop song just going out. You can see sort of coming up with you, like walking alongside you, is an interviewer. This is Clive Scout. You can see he's very well dressed, not tuxedo style, but definitely well suited and like a very traditional announcer type person. Slick back hair with a microphone. So he goes, Sid, tell us, how are you feeling after that last match? And then puts the mic in your face.
Hey, Clyde. Great to see you tonight. How am I feeling after that last match? Well, I'll tell you something, Clyde. And this might sound a little strange, but I've never thought of myself as a violent person. I think that there's a sort of a malice and an intent to do harm that's tied up in that word violence. So I don't think of myself as a violent person, even though I go out there every night and I fight. I go out there and fight because it's my job, and I go out there and fight to prove that I'm the best. Tonight, though, you know what? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going out there right now, and I'm going to go and face down Books, and I'm going to prove once again that I am the best. And even if I end up staring at the lights, then I'll know that I was the best that I could be on this night. Now, you ask me how I'm feeling. I'll tell you. What the three goblins in a trench coat did last week, that's got me feeling a little way. That's got me feeling a little bit of violence might be in order. And I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go and I'm going to fight clean like I always do. And I'm going to win like I always do and prove that I'm the best. But I haven't seen those three ugly mugs around here anywhere. But I tell you what, I'm waiting for them. And I'll tell you another thing. I welcome the intrusion. Sid reaches kind of like down next to the door and picks up an axe handle. But there's something that they got to know. Those three goobers want to show up. They want to disrupt my match. They want to try and make me look like a fool again. They want to try and make me look bad while I'm out there being the best. I think maybe it's time for some violence.
Can you roll for me? Cut a promo. So that's going to be 2d6 plus your luck.
That's a rough one. That's a 7.
Okay. A mixed result. You have their attention. Pick one of the following. So either make the creative book you in a match, add a stipulation to a relevant match, they come out and respond to your promo, or gain 1 heat with the subject of your promo. Now, obviously, the subject of your promo isn't necessarily books.
Yeah, it's the three goblins.
Which is fine. It's fine. That could be the thing. I would say I can easily book you into a match, sure. The stipulation stuff is interesting. We could have it so that it's a hardcore, so there's definitely going to be blood and violence, which seems like what you're going for, so we can absolutely add those rules to it. Or I am one of those GMs one of those creators that's happy to go for anything. So if you think of a stipulation you want in this match, we can absolutely do so. But yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that the implication here is the match with Book is going to be right down the middle. But if the goblins show up, then it immediately becomes a triple threat hardcore match.
Nice. All right. I'll take that in mind. So as you sort of are picking up the axe and you sort of say that final line, again, this is broadcast all over on these amazing, like huge LED screens. And the audience is like, oh, like they can feel it. They knew what happened last time was just, it got to the core. People, again, she is such a big flagship icon in the community.
They've been showing the clips on the Jumbotron before the event here.
Constantly, all the lead up, just in case you forgot it has happened. Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, though, on another screen, we go down into where would we find Books at this point?
I'm trying to figure out if Books reads books.
Like, I just pictured you sitting behind a big desk at like the lawyer law library behind you, like tiny small reading glasses on, and like the Masterpiece Theater theme playing.
Yes. I have an office for some reason. A library even.
Yes, absolutely. Your backstage bit is all library stuff. Yeah.
Oh, hello there. I was just reading one of my favorite books. Just a little quick one after lunch, a little Moby Dick. And she like holds up like the thickest goddamn book you've ever seen. It's like twice as thick as Moby Dick actually is.
Audible groan from the audience comes through on the audio.
If anything, it's like 2 Moby Dicks like slapped together. Like
Oh, it's a prop. You better believe it.
I have this unpublished sequel.
Moby Dick 2, Moby Harder. So you're sort of sat there and you sort of look up at the camera at this point. It's maybe slapping the book shut. And another interviewer is Alison Newen comes in and she goes, "Oh, Miss Madame Books, it is a pleasure to have you. Can you tell us anything, like how are you feeling about your next match against Sidriel Constellation?" And she puts the mic in front of you.
I was just in the midst of a long, thick description of a ship's bulkhead, but I suppose I could spare a minute. What did you say? Who am I against again?
Sidreal Constellation.
Oh, I'm up to get Sid. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sid and I have not always agreed on who the best wrestler of the two of us is. It's me. But I must say, I am looking forward to seeing their stars spangle as they slap against the mat, and I remind them of the book they hated to read.
And what book would that be?
Oh, I'll have to look into their eyes to see that. But it won't be fun. This is Allison, yeah. Allison, she looks in. Allison, did you go to college?
Yes. I went to interviewer school.
Did you take general classes? Any English classes there, Allison?
Yes, I did. I did English, Lit, and language.
Which one was it, Allison?
Which one? Which one was what?
Which one took you all night to read because you had put it off? Which one robbed you of your restful slumber, Allison?
It was Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck.
Allison, it's all right. We are not enemies. Come back to me. Think about your favorite TV shows, your favorite video games.
Okay, Final Fantasy.
But now you know, Allison, of the pain I will cause Sid tenfold, because Sid will not have the refuge of their favorite television shows and their favorite video games.
Gosh.
They will only have the words. And then she reaches inside of the fake Moby Dick prop and pulls out a pair of brass knuckles that were like like hidden in the book. Yeah. And she says, "See you in the ring, Sid."
Amazing. Please roll cut a promo 2d6 plus your luck for me, please.
I tried to come up with a good, clever, punny line to end on. I just didn't.
No, I like that.
Wasn't,
See you in
wasn't
the ring.
there.
Yeah. I like it.
Read you later. Just say something that doesn't make any sense.
That's in terms of catchphrases. It ain't too bad.
I like read you later.
I rolled 2 4s.
2 4s. Do you have anything in luck?
Oh, look. Do I have anything in luck? Yes. Oh,
luck.
yes, 2. I have 2 in luck. It's my best stat.
All right, that is a 10. You connect with the audience. Pick 2 from this list. So again, the list is: I book you in a match, so book you to win. You add a stipulation to the match. They come out and respond to you, or you gain a +1 heat with the subject of your promo. I'd say that third one probably doesn't count because they've already done their own promo. But yeah, what would you like?
I guess I just take the other 2 things then, right? I mean, I've only got
Well, there's 3 other things. I can book you to win the match. You can add a stipulation of anything, so we've already had one from Sid, or you can get +1 heat with Sid. And remember, heat, the more heat you have with someone, the more likely you're going to get stuff with the audience. Yeah.
I misunderstood. I do want to heat with Sid.
Yeah, so you get +1 heat.
And I actually don't care if I win. I just want one good moment. That's really all I need. Like, because to get into a supervillain group, you don't actually have to win much. They don't win much. You just have to do something that would strike terror into the hearts of folks everywhere. And so I think I'd like to get one good prop in there. So I just need one moment. I just need one moment for the real. I don't actually have to win.
Yeah, no, you want your villain monologue moment. That's what you want. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, no. I think I want to set up a prop for one demoralizing hit.
Ooh.
And I just would love a big old bookcase of books.
Yeah. I can see it being wheeled past your library office on the way there. Various big tomes of like Encyclopedia Britannica also going over.
Yes. She's drumming her fingers together. Yes.
All right. So with the 2 of you going towards the ring at this point, it's sort of cutting back and forth between books and Sid. So both of these characters will get to show off in the ring. Whoever has control of the match narrates a sequence of wrestling moves or holds or strikes or whatever you want that will culminate in an important, impressive or dangerous maneuver that advances the overall story of the match, and that is the big spot. So when you get to that point, that person is going to make the wrestling move. The control of the match might change or you might keep it. It depends on what is happening and what result you get. Now, the person who isn't in control of the match can use something called the interrupt move, and they can cut in and take control of the match. You can use other moves as well, such as work the audience. When it's getting towards the end, the creator, will reveal who or I've already decided is winning the match, and then together you'll work to make it happen. If you want to swerve my booking, you can. This usually means that you're going to make either a break kayfabe or a heel move or another that's on your sheet that's appropriate. Whoever has booked to win will also get to hit their finishing move at the end of the match. But before we get started, I'm going to hand over our announcer mic to another player. So it's going to be Jeff for this one. And basically, Jeff is going to play the ringside announcer during this particular match. It is going to be your job to summarize and add whatever fun context you want for this imaginary viewing audience at home. In addition, the announcer can put over, this is a move, each wrestler once per match by describing how awesome what they just did was. This means that their result on a move bumps up from 1, so from a botch to a partial, and from a partial to a full success. Yeah, so let's go over to Jeff. So do you want to describe your announcer for this particular match? Who are they? What do they look like? Any sort of interesting things that the fans at home might be excited for?
Okay, first question. Where are we?
You are in this massive big stadium. I think I'm thinking like there's like greens and dark blues, etc., and lights going on, but it feels very traditional in that sort of sense. And you probably will be by the big table at the front, so you're very close to the ring itself.
Okay.
And you can see this big bookcase of books coming in and being set to one side on next to the ring.
But where is what state are we in, or country? What are we doing for that?
Well, considering that there are goblins, I think it's some sort of fantasy realm or some sort. But also it's worldwide wrestling. Anyone been popped in here? I think it's almost sci-fi. You know, you just drop in your favorite wrestlers from all over the place. So you could even say it's on a big space station or in a big capital city somewhere, wherever you fancy.
All right, sounds good. My Ranger character is going to be named. I'm going to go with Big Jim Harrison, Gloomstalker Ranger.
Nice, excellent.
So that's going to be my character name. We'll give him a little bit of a Texas accent, but he is essentially a fantasy ranger.
Yeah,
he's going to be a little on the grizzled side, probably too big for a ranger. Crossed swords on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Very much got that sort of come with me if you want to live grizzled voice to him. And just obviously a color commentary wrestler who still sometimes shows up in stunt matches. We're thinking a little bit of a Jim Lawler vibe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I think we're probably going to be somewhere in between the crazy Texan from The Simpsons and Aragorn in terms of what we're shooting for here.
Incredible. What an image as well. So yeah, so it's sort of announced on various big screens as you are sort of there waiting. Is there anything you're doing before the match happens at all, before the lights go down and we start the first match?
Oh, absolutely. He's going to run out to the ring just like he always does. Just do a quick circle of the ring, shaking hands with the big celebrities who are down there. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so pleasure to see. Oh, so good to see you. Welcome. Right. And then as he gets to fans who are holding up Big Jim signs, which, you know, he's a wrestler from the day, he'll do his special move, which is to pull his two swords, grab them by the hilts, pretend they're pistols and fire them wildly into the air. Just bang, bang, bang. Hey.
You hear delighted children screaming in like excitement and also terror as you're huge above them, and they, holding little posters and stuff for you to sign.
Other wrestlers may stalk the gloom, but they ain't no match for Big Jim. I'll find him and I'll sniff him out. And now it's time for one hell of a wrestling night, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just take my seat.
So the lights turn and go completely dark. There's a sudden like scream as all the lights are going up, but that scream of excitement, tension, and you can hear sort of that sort of heartbeat, like bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, as the lights start to go. We'll have Sid go first. So can you describe your entryway into the ring itself? Again, the ring is just, I'm going to keep it very simple. It is just a simple wrestling ring with the ropes, etc. And also now a massive bookcase of books, which the thick tomes are in them.
Aha!
The first, because, you know, your wrestling entrance music needs to have like a strong initial impression. And if you can think of the Tristram theme from Diablo, that played on banjo with the reverb kicked up maybe even a little bit higher as we get those crashing, was that like an arpeggio or like that, like,
Yeah.
I think the audience all has kind of their flashlights on their cell phones up. So the audience starts looking like a sea of stars. And then a facsimile of a bunch of constellations gets projected in tight focus down across the audience. And there's a massive chunk as one spotlight comes on. And Sid is standing at the top of the ring. They're still holding the axe handle, but like their entrance music starts picking up. They're moving towards the ring with a little bit more purpose than usual. And the music that they have, it transitions into something that is a little bit more lively, kind of that space Appalachian stuff that's become a little bit more popular recently.
Astrolachin,
perfect. But they're not like bouncing around, giving people high fives like they normally would be. Just with supreme purpose, striding towards the ring. They take the axe handle and like knock it against the stairs up to the ring, and then set it down, propped up against one of the ring posts. Then just, up the stairs like normal, over the top rope. They see the massive bookcase. And just kind of like do kind of get a double take.
Yeah.
And then back up the 4 steps or whatever it is to the ropes, bounce up the ropes, and then bound up to the top of the bookcase and sit down.
Ooh.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that calming yet propulsive village music can only mean the arrival of one sidereal constellation. Oh, and I can see the signature axe handle coming out. I hope that does not find itself used illegally in tonight's proceedings. Sidriel is a rising up-and-comer in the ranks of the wrestling, really looking here to gain a couple of levels in their career, if not choose a new Paragon path or prestige class, and we're going to see whether or not they've got what it takes tonight.
Books, how do you enter the fray?
I believe we established that there's some like horrible song that parents have to hear over and over again about the library that was by the Grongols or whatever popular children's band that's playing. I think I've like really neglected to visually describe Books. Books, fittingly, is a little thick. She's got those thunder thighs, and I think we said that her leotard, and she has a cape that is like just covered with tiny text, just the entirety of some book, maybe lots of different books, all the books. There's Pride and Prejudice, there's Little Women, there's Secret Garden. That was not very long, but still hard to get through. And I think she's got like an even bigger and thicker like fake prom book, like it's like War and Peace or something. It's so like distressingly large, and she's like reading it as she's like strutting up to the stage, and everyone's booing.
Absolutely.
TV's better, boo. And as she enters the ring, she like tosses this book behind her so that it makes this like huge loud thud. Ooh. She has been like not stilted or anything, but I mean it was just like a lazy strut up to, but now suddenly she's like bouncy and she has energy, and she like leaps over the ropes and gets into like throws the cape off and gets into like a fighting stance and points at Sid and says, "Oh, on days like this, I just like to curl up with a good neck in my arms."
Oh, boo this nerd music. Ladies and gentlemen, and wrestling fans of every pronoun, I must warn you that Books, the deadly and desperate librarian of our wrestling federation, has entered the ring. Now, we were all hoping that her chapter came to an end at Winter Slam, but unfortunately, we don't get to choose our own adventures here at this job, and that means that she's gonna be here being big and dangerous, and I bet she hopes to throw the book at our young new hero.
Why would you take that from me, Jeff? Why would you take that from me?
If it works, it's wrestling. You can just repeat the hell out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It's allowed.
Books, because I feel like you don't care, and you're just sort of shaking off things. I'm going to ask you to work the audience. So when you pump up, lambast, or otherwise work to get the crowd cheering or jeering you, I think you are, because like just the way you start, you're not caring about them, and just throwing that book, people are like, clutching their pearls a little bit. So I want you to roll 2d6 plus your audience, and let me know what you get.
15. Nope. That's our 9.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's literally impossible. It's actually a 12. It's still pretty good.
Wow, they pop up big. So as soon as that big War and Peace fake book just hits the ground, it actually splits, and the papers go everywhere. And people go, boo! Like again, proper panto crowd. So they pop big. If you want, you can spend 1 momentum to gain +1 heat with your current opponent. Otherwise, you can bask in this moment and gain a momentum as a result. So you can spend the one you have to get that +1 heat, which will be important later on, or you can get another momentum just now because you're just sort of basking in this sort of the jeers that are happening towards you.
I actually need a little heat with Sid, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend that momentum and to go up to 3 heat with Sid. So now I have 3 heat with both of the other player wrestlers.
I'll say that my joke got stepped on so that it hasn't been stolen yet. So that when I was lining it up, instead of that happening, I got a big slap of Roar and Peace in the face and started mumbling through it. Good God, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot believe that here at our premiere event, I have been Tolstoyed. This is unacceptable. Never before in the history of wrestling has such an injustice been visited upon Big Jim Harrison, the Gloomstalker Ranger. Boo, boo, boo this nerd.
Boo this nerd.
Boo this nerd. There's t-shirts there with that on as well. Boo this nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just putting money into my pocket.
Heck yeah, this is how I put you over.
Uh-huh.
All right, the referee comes up and it gets you both to come towards each other. What I'm going to say for this match, we're going to start with the control with Sid, and you just go from there. So you will start narrating a move, and it's a bit like a dance at this point. So like when you narrate a move, you could start to say something, Bucks could have a response, etc. But the role will be with Sid at this point. But again, the moves can change everything. You can see the referee comes up, does the sort of usual like calm down, nice clean game, and you hear the whistle blow. And we begin our match of Sid, Real, Constellation versus Bucks. And it's sort of all the lights sort of come up. Sid, what would you like to do?
I think first off, to get down from the top of the bookshelf, where is the bookshelf positioned? Is it in the center of the ring? Is it like against one of the ropes? Is in a corner?
Unless Books have specified otherwise, I was going to put it off to one of the corners.
It's in like my corner.
Yes,
how about
absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
So you've stepped into the ring and Sid's like behind you, sitting on top of the bookshelf. They, instead of like climbing down like a normal person, use their hands to like boost themselves up into a handstand and then just like kind of push off and flip over you and land in the center of the ring in kind of that superhero pose.
Oh, my goodness, a perfectly executed Dewey Decimal Dive Bomb.
And then stands up and turns. And I think Sid is the kind of person who's like this and goes in for a handshake.
Honorable gesture.
I'm going to pretend like I'm going to take the handshake, but then like my hand goes up in one finger onto my lips and I shh them.
Oh, no! The librarian shush.
Sid like kind of like hands up and looks around, kind of like mugs for the audience, and then settles back down it goes into a fighting stance. I think just to start, like the match starts off pretty normal with the two of us like kind of hands up and circling each other. Eventually we get kind of like that hands lock up. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a test of strength, but like Books is much larger than Sid. So as she starts pushing down on them, I think eventually like they're starting to like lean back and pull back further and further, and then drop one hand. Once the weight has shifted forward, drop one hand, keeps a hold of the other, and swings around behind to get Books into an arm, like has her arm locked up against her, has her arm locked up against her back, and then shoves really hard so that she stumbles forward a few feet, bounces off the ropes, and comes back, presumably turns around, and Sid goes and just like lands this massive chop into her chest.
Oh, my goodness. What has begun as a standard gladiatorial test of strength has ended up with a grapple check revealing Sidriel Constellation's ability to bend bars and lift gates with a chop.
That sounds like a wrestling move. We're in the in-ring moves. I feel like so you could either roll with plus body or plus work. If you do physical strength or acrobatic skill, that's body. If you're showcasing your technique, create or subvert what the audience expects to happen next, that's sort of plus work. What do you think, Sid, that you're doing here? I have a feeling it's body, but I'm happy to hear.
I was thinking body as well.
All right, roll 2d6 plus body.
Well, that is a 5.
Currently, you botch that spot. Your opponent describes how they counter you or save you from disaster and takes control of the match.
Okay. So what exactly was the move you were doing on me? You struck me in the chest and then
just like pushed you and then like bounced you off the ropes and came back and gave a big chop.
I just I'm a big person and I think I'm able to just like get you like I like clothesline you down onto the mat.
Ooh, excellent.
And I take a magazine out of nowhere. What's a magazine that's fun to read?
Fun to read?
I don't know. It's like
the Atlantic, the New Yorker. If we're going real pretentious, kind of like those high-end ones.
Maybe not magazines. Maybe magazines are just as bad as books.
Scientific American.
Yeah.
I take like a comic book out, like it's like a Spider-Man comic book, and I hand it. I'm like, say, would you like something to read? And like maybe you're like, oh, Oh, it's a comic book. I love superheroes. You're practically one yourself, and like you reach up to it, and I like just at the last second, I like look into your eyes, and I know what book you hated reading, and it was Fahrenheit 451 using my preternatural ability, and I go, oh no, actually I have something better for you, and I hand you that book instead, and I go, oh, you thought it was going to have lots of cool future stuff in it. You read it was about the future. And there were guys called firemen, and they had cool flamethrowers, but that's not at all what it was about, was it, Sid?
Yeah, as soon as Fahrenheit 451 comes out, Sid like scrambles away, just like straight back into the corner, like knocks against the bookshelf, sells the hell out of this.
Amazing.
Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, Books has attempted to Bradbury the competition.
God damn it! All right.
I just thought that the thing where you got to participate in the show that was happening through the earbuds, I thought that was cool. It was supposed to be cool. Why was it so bad?
You didn't even get to read the fun one where he wrote about Mars. You had to read this one instead.
God.
Using a banned book is a banned wrestling move. Where are the refs?
So what do I do now?
This is a way we do sort of the describe the 3-2-1. So you've got Sid where you want them. So how are you going to do like a big wrestling move on them? So they're scrambled up against the thing.
I actually have to wrestle. I can't just Bugs Bunny my way through everything.
I mean, you kind of can.
You can
try and hurt me at some point.
Yeah.
I'm going to literally throw the book at them, and so I'm gonna take Fahrenheit 451 and just try to like actually like smack them across the face with it.
Brutal. I do like the idea that the comic book, it was hiding in the comic book all this time. So there's the Spider-Man.
I don't know how. It seems like it would work the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're doing like a trade paperback or something like that, it'd be fine. But
yeah,
it's a prop. It's a prop like everything is.
So, Books, it sounds like you're doing the wrestling move. I think this is going to be roll plus work because this is not like it's not a physical. It is a physical strength thing, but also I feel like it's more your technique and you're subverting what the audience. Well, I don't know. The audience is probably expecting it. What do you think? Would it be body or work?
I definitely have been playing this as like avoid doing any real combat fighting wrestling moves as possible because that's my absolute worst one.
The other thing to do as well, because sorry, I forgot there was a third one. If you work with your opponent to showcase an exciting maneuver that requires both of you to achieve, you roll plus heat instead. So you do have that sort of heat with Sid as well.
I mean, I got a way that we can heat this up.
All right.
So you go in for that swing, and Sid just takes it, just like across the face, and like even slumps a little lower, but then kind of slowly pushes themselves back up, and you swing again and like hits again, and they take it again. And then like you get this repeated strikes, and every time Sid is pushing themselves up a little higher and a little higher and a little higher until eventually you go in for a swing, and Sid like ducks back slightly, and your grip is such so that you're holding on to just like part of the book. And as the book flies open, Sid, while leaning back, grabs the other end. And then between the two of us, we rip the book in half.
Oh, I love that. I think that works. Books, I want you to roll a wrestling move, 2d6 plus heat with Sid. So I believe that's a +3.
3 is 11.
11. The crowd pops as you nail the spot. You retain control of the match and you get +1 momentum. So how does it look? So like this book explodes everywhere, but you still have control of the match. And you see Sid sort of like, again, maybe a little bit dazed and stuff, but they've taken a beating as a result of with being hit by this book over and over and over.
But back on my feet, ready, like facing you, ready for the next offense. With all of these pages fluttering down around us.
Yeah.
Isn't it such a rare pleasure to find a book that you read until it bursts open? Ooh, is it time, though? Is it time for the prop? I think it's time for the prop.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the illegal objects are flying fast and furious.
He goes, all right, if you don't like Fahrenheit 451, then, and she like goes over behind the bookshelf and like, there's like, like pushing it over to you. And she says, she's like, I've got many for you to choose from. And my plan was just to like knock the bookcase over on top of them and like bury them in books. Brad buried them in books. I'm going to tell the joke too.
Sid, what do? You see this books, the things start to tumble. You see one or two books falling off. Is there anything that you try and do in sort of response? You won't be able to get out of it completely.
I think Sid starts catching them. Just starts like hands flying around, starts like grabbing these books and stacking them up as they're starting to fall down.
Ho! The respect, ladies and gentlemen, the respect in the air as Sidriel Constellation refuses to damage the books and catches and stacks them.
And then just like shoulders into the bookshelf, pushing against books and be like, wrong time, wrong place for me. Bad time with Fahrenheit 451. But I'm not going to let you disrespect all of these other great works and push real hard.
Wait. Would the crowd be okay with you calling books cool and good?
I don't care. I believe it.
Okay.
That's true face energy.
That's the baby face move. That's the baby face move. When you stand up for something you believe in.
Yeah.
I don't have 2 momentum to spend.
Oh, unfortunately, then you can't make that move. But yeah, I like that. I like the fact you're doing that. Well, what I would say, this is the question. No, it's not. I guess you could be working the audience a little bit because you're trying to get the crowd on your
let's work
side.
the audience.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Do a 2d6 plus your audience, please.
That is a 4 and a 3 plus my audience of 1 brings it up to an 8.
Oh, the audience is playing along. You gain 1 momentum, so you can hear them going, yeah. Read.
See, now I can stand up for something I believe in.
But the control is still with
it's doing me.
Well, you've got it ready for the next time. So books, how do you do your next big move? As this, as you can see, Sid is like about to do like an impassioned plea, catching all your books.
I might want to use mind games.
Oh, describe that. That's your move from your playbook. Yeah.
When you engage in bizarre, outlandish, or mysterious behavior to psych someone out, roll plus look. On a 10 plus, I pick 2, and on 7 I pick 1 of either I gain control, I gain +1 heat, they gain +1 heat with me, or someone surprises or ambushes them from out of nowhere, or on a botch, the crowd thinks it's silly, and I lose all momentum, which I don't have any anyway. So
yes,
I want to say I want to choose the mysterious. It's like bizarre, outlandish, or mysterious. I think I'll do mysterious. I don't know if I can one up the things I've already done outlandish wise, but I can say I know of one book that's worse than anything you've ever read, worse than anything on this shelf, as it teeters as the books are about to fall out. And I want to roll before I reveal what it is.
Of course, yeah. Roll 2d6 plus your look, right?
Yes, which is +2.
Yeah.
So it's 6 + 2 is 8. So yeah, on 7 and 9 I get to pick one thing. I want to gain control again. And I want to.
You still have control.
Oh, I have control.
You've not lost it all. But what I would say is that if you get plus heat with them, you're going to have 4 heat, and that's going to be really helpful if you win. You get more and more audience stuff as a result. So that's something there. Or you can have someone that surprises you. It depends on what you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't possibly brook that many books being destroyed, even if we here in the audience, of course, boo the book as a concept. There may be some of those Garfield comics in there.
There is somebody suddenly enters the ring. It looks like a French gentleman,
okay.
Just in period clothing. He's a white-haired gentleman, got a brown suit on with a vest. He says something in French. You have no idea what he says, but you do recognize 2 words, Victor and Hugo. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you probably don't speak French. This is my friend Victor Hugo, and he has his novel, Les Miserables. But it's in its original French.
Oh, boo that language.
The psychic damage of having to read a book in a language you don't even know. I just that's all I need. It's not even a wrestling move.
No. It totally is.
That's what I'm saying. As I'm saying is there's not even there's no physicality to it. It's just psychic damage.
Absolutely. All right. I want you to do that. Yeah. Do that 2d6 plus it was work, because I think you're working this at this point.
Oh no. Oh no. I only got a 4.
Okay, full total. So that is a botch currently. Now, going over to the announcement, this is where you could, if you'd like to, put over and describe, if you would like to, you don't have to, how that actually is much cooler than it looks. So currently, it's a complete failure as well. But if you want to put it over, it will go to a mixed success.
Oh, okay. So it just goes up by a rank? Does
Yes,
not by a number?
Mm-hmm,
Okay, sure. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I may only parler a seulement un peu de français, but I recognize Victor Hugo when I see him. And I got to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, that book is a weighty tome of damage to the very psyche, especially in its original hateful freedom decrying surrender and language. And there is simply no way that Sidriel can resist those weighty philosophies and ruminations on French architecture in the 1800s without really having to step it up.
All right, so you've helped them bump up that thing, so that is now a mixed success. So you keep their attention books, like the audience is like booing and jeering you, etc. So you get this choice. You either hand over control of the match to your opponent, you hand it over to Sid and gain 1 momentum for you, or you can retain the narrative control of the match to do the next wrestling move. What are you thinking?
I'm okay with handing it back over to Sid.
Absolutely.
I just think Zad's good at this.
Yeah, so you hand it back over and you will gain 1 momentum as a result. This Victor Hugo actor, who's clearly an unpaid actor who's just come on and has just got a fake French moustache, is just saying, quelquefois over again, and it's just sort of like handing over another prop that has it's basically the French dictionary and thesaurus all in one with the dust jacket on, and you're feeling the pressure of it's like no, and you're trying to just resist it.
Yeah, I've got this bookshelf that's falling down me on the one hand, and I've just been handed this book in the other.
Yeah, you're holding lots of books, right? So it's almost teetering yourself. You're going to drop them, yeah.
It's really funny because somehow we managed to all be mic'd, so we can do a whole bunch of word-based comedy as we're playing this. But you can see it. You can see it in Sid's face. We're not going to let these books. We can't let these good, nice books drop. It's it's Les Mis. Yeah. Les Mis is a lot. Do you know what Les Mis also is? Extremely good.
Victor Hugo looks very flattered that you said that.
Oh, mon ami.
I guess he can understand French, but understand English, but not speak.
yeah.
And as the weight of this is about to crush Sid. Sid looks at Victor Hugo and says, "With apologies, Monsieur Hugo, your work is great, but it was vastly improved by the musical," and launches the book back at the Hugo actor. Yeah. Gets both hands back underneath the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And just pushes it back against books. We bounce off the ropes. It all comes crashing back down. I think Sid does a back handsprings to get out of the way as everything kind of clears out of the way, backs up, hits the rope, jumps, and then just runs, books it, jumps over the bookshelf and just flies into kind of a Superman punch on the other end, getting at books. And I think that's going to be it's going to be a work.
Yeah, either or, because you're doing physical strength as well. You've also done a big backflip as well, so either or.
The work is the technical, right? As opposed to body, where you're just doing cool, doing big. Yeah,
so this is a wrestling move. So so if you were doing with body, it's showcase your physical strength, acrobatic skill, or signature maneuver that requires both incredible athletics ability. Or if you're doing work, showcase your technique, create or subvert what the audience expects to happen next, or demonstrate a signature move that requires high-level wrestling skills. So either or, as long as you justify it, I'm not too fussed.
No, I think we're going to go with body on this, just because it is a sheer force of bodily effort. Ooh, that's 2 ones. So that is a 2.
Okay, so that currently you have botched the spot. Your opponent describes how they counter you or saves you from disaster and takes control of the match. Or you do have one more put over announcer if you would like to use it. You do not have to, though.
Oh, that'd be great. Then I could just chill out. That sounds perfect for me. I'll take it back to the bookshelf and Victor Hugo, and we'll take it from there. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Victor Hugo is brandishing his fine works at Sidriel, and I just don't understand what could possibly... What? My God, ladies and gentlemen, Sidriel is complimented the great French author on his work. Never before in the squared circle have I seen such a degree of honor and respect paid to a French novelist. Oh, that brings a tear to this old half-elf's eye. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I speak for every single one of us when I say Zut alors, which of course is Frenchican for great jumping dog balls. They're making their move. They're jumping off the top rope. There they go. Oh, it's going to be a Superman punch. Oh, I can't, but oh, no. Oh, books is standing strong, as firm as a weighty tome, as immovable as gravity's rainbow, and it's a collapse. Oh, no, they're on the ground. Oh, Sidriel's on the ground.
All right. So, yes, you bumped it up. So you keep their attention, Sid. You can choose whether you want to hand over the control back to Books and gain +1 momentum or retain control of the match. It is up to you.
Based on the narration, I've fallen to the outside.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I got so up into great jumping dog balls and stuff that I completely forgot that you were supposed to be taking control of the situation.
But again, they might want to be on the ground. That might be, if that's maybe where they're going to get it next. So it's absolutely great. I think that's fine. So
yeah, we'll say that to save the botch. I mean, like it looks way better, but it was like they clearly stumbled kind of getting over the books. They weren't able to make the jump in the way that they wanted to.
Yeah.
I think like the back of the bookshelf cracked when they jumped on it. Ooh. And so instead of just taking the hit, I guess this is a little bit more meta, but instead of just like taking the hit in the way she was supposed to, Books like caught, if you don't mind me narrating this, to save Sid from being injured. Books caught Sid, and then it's like, well, I've got him, and then dumps him back out and over the ring, outside the ring. So now Sid is on the ground at the foot of the entrance ramp. I'm going to take the momentum and pass control.
All right, so what I'm going to do now, so the control is back with Books, but I'm going to reveal as creative who I think should win the match, and I wrote it down before. I've put it, the person that's underlined, so you probably won't be able to see it, but I've said Sid will win the match versus Books. Now, Books, obviously, you do not have to go with that. You can use any of your moves to interrupt it, etc., but that is what the creative would have told you beforehand. That is where the match should end. So currently, you have Sid outside of the ring on the ground. You have control. What would you like to do?
So here's the thing. I actually completely agree. I was even thinking like, I think it's time. I think it's time to lose this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, there's a mic. There's a mic somewhere, right?
Everywhere.
I guess we already said we are mic. Maybe that's why I've been doing all my Bugs Bunny stuff so I don't crush my mic.
That's what separates us from the WWE.
Yeah. I take like the ref mic and I go, ladies and gentlemen and otherwise and in between, if you could all check under your seats, please. And
what now? Hold on, I'm checking under my seat here.
yeah, you've got it too. And underneath everyone's seat is like a book. There's just so many books, and not all of them are at least 50 years old.
Oh my god!
And so, like, yes, the entire crowd with horror has realized they have been given a book for free. And so like I've made this so I've now turned against the crowd.
Interesting.
I've involved them in my crime.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe my fingers have been disgraced by Herman Hesse's 6th novel Steppenwolf. I need a medic. I require a cleric at this location immediately.
I will expect a 10-page report on this by Monday.
Oh.
And so I want like Sid, this is like Sid's moment to like save the crowd, to be the hero, and like whatever you do is going to like end me.
I would say though that you have triggered another move which is called cheap heat. Whenever you insult or praise the audience or their hometown, you gain +1 momentum. You can only do it once per episode, so you've instantly insulted their intelligence by giving them a free book is what I'm going to repeat that, so you get +1 momentum.
Hey, what are my heal moves? I actually don't know that.
Heal moves, so you've got it. So when you do something underhanded to get what you want, you spend 2 momentum and pick one of the following. You get +1 heat with your opponent, leave someone helpless lying on the floor, postpone one of your matches, or cheat in order to book yourself to win a match. Usually it'd be that last one. But yeah, you have to spend at least 2 momentum, and the same for the babyface move as well.
Nah, it's going exactly how I want it to right now. This will get the attention of some supervillain league. This will do it.
Yeah. So it sounds like as well, you're leaving yourself sort of wide open for then Sid to do something else.
My back is to Sid. I assume they are defeated.
What I'm going to say as well, to give narrative control over, you're doing like a combat, so you're voluntarily handing off the narration to your opponent as well.
I'm saying I'm now going to be defeated. You're going to do a cool move on me.
Excellent. All right.
This is you can do your finishing move. You can do your finishing move on me.
That's the plan. Like Sid slowly has like climbed up the ring apron and he's like holding on to the second rope and has it pulled back like quite a long ways and looks up and says, "Hey, Books, Jose's Magic Theater's the only good part of Steppenwolf." And then just like jumps, launches themselves with the momentum from the rope, like in between the ropes, and fist out catches Books in an uppercut. Like momentum continues over. Books kind of stumbles and falls, and Sid rolls back around and goes in for the cover. This is where I roll finisher, right?
Exactly. So yeah, when you book to win the match, which you are, roll 2d6. Just do it straight. You can spend your momentum afterwards, and see what you get.
Hey, that is boxcars. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Amazing.
I get +1 audience.
Yes.
Some wild dice.
Your cool theme music plays.
Fantastic. So yeah, how does this end? How does the match end, Sid?
We get that like pop-up catch on books that like knocks him off balance and gets Sid back into the ring. And I think like the finishing move that I have planned for Sid is the brighter day punch, where instead of like a Superman punch explicitly comes from up top and goes down. After sending books reeling, Sid like rolls to almost the other side of the ring, almost dives, somersaults, and springs up, and just gets this like kind of incredible amount of height for this uppercut. And that's the brighter day.
Cool.
And like lands almost like dropping an elbow and pushing books to the ground. Ref presumably sorts through the mess of bookshelf hands.
It's not difficult terrain, but there's definitely multiple pages on the ground. Yeah.
And that's for the 3.
Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, you hear it getting called out like 1, 2, 3, and the bell goes. The audience absolutely goes wild as a result, as various people sort of come in to drag you guys apart. Someone comes to like sweep up all the pieces of paper, and cut to all these amazing moments. The bookshelf back and forth, a random like sort of static image of Victor Hugo, but it's like sort of repeated 4 or 5 times. There's a sort of like weird rainbow effect going on. Brilliant. That is our first match.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a catastrophic victory by our rising star Sidriel constellation. I really got to say the stars aligned today to bring about that victory. And the only thing I can say is, Pleiades, Sidriel, don't hurt him. Let's let this match be over. Book had it coming for making me touch work by German Swiss authors. But at the end of the day, that was a noble game of wrestling that we got to see here. And what a finish, an uppercut like you will not believe.
Now, just quick post-match admin. So, Sid, you won a match all by yourself. You get an advancement as a result of that. And I believe, Books, do you have +4 heat with...
I sure do.
I think you do. So, yeah, you will gain +1 audience as well. So you're going to go slowly up the tracker. Yeah. Absolutely. So advancements mean basically you can pick 1 more audience. You can do lots of things, actually. So you can do it now, which sort of makes sense because you can have a bit of downtime, Sid, because you're not going to be in the next match. Or you can do it if you're in the next match and just do it on the spot. So have a look at your different moves and stuff and see what you would like to do. Who's ready to rumble? Find out next time on What Am I Rolling? The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded, and edited by me, Fiona Howard. This episode's players were Jeff, Ben, and Zad from the System Mastery, Roleplay Retcon, and Game Woven podcasts. All these shows and What Am I Rolling are a part of the One Shot Podcast Network, and this episode has been produced especially for the One Shot Overfest. Support the One Shot Podcast Network on Patreon. That's patreon.com/One Shot Podcast. This episode's RPG was Worldwide Wrestling by Nathan D. Paoletta and published by NPDdesign. You can find out more information about Worldwide Wrestling and grab your own copy on the NPDdesign website. That's www.ndpdesign.com. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on social media. You can find us at WAIR_podcast for the latest news on upcoming episodes on all the big social media sites. All the links are in this episode's show notes, including the Discord. And remember, adventurers need not apply.